So for Unit 3, Quiz 3 practice, we're just going to go through some of the information that's going to be on your quiz. So for the first one, write the equation in slope-intercept form with the given information. So in number 1, it tells you the slope, which if you remember, that's m. It tells you that the y-intercept is 5 and y-intercept is your b. SIF would be y equals mx plus b. So I would say y equals m, which is negative 3, x, b is positive 5. Okay, in number 2, for our slope-intercept form, we have to find m and b. So m, I go up 1, 2, 3 over 2. So that would be 3/2, which can't reduce. The b would be where does the line cross the y-axis? So that would be right here, and that would be at 1. So I plug it back into y equals mx plus b, and I would have y equals 3/2 x plus 1. Okay, in number 3, you can see the points on here. They are very light in color, but they are here. Alright, so we're going to have to count how many up and over. It is hard to see the lines, but we can do it. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And we go over 1. So our slope is 4 over 1, which is just 4. Okay, and then the line crosses the y-axis at negative 2. So we know m and we know b. Oops, sorry. We know this much. We just don't know what symbol we are putting in here yet. Okay? So y something, m is 4, x plus b, but b is negative 2, so we put minus 2. Alright, now, the line is dashed. So if it's dashed, it has to be one of these two symbols. It can't be these. They have the line for equal to. Also, if I go to where I began my graph, which is always on the y-axis, where is the shading? Is it up or is it down? And it's up. So if it's up, greater, okay, up is greater, it would have to be this symbol here. So we could say that that is greater because I went up. Alright. Then, so that covers 1 through 3. It covers day 5 information. Okay? 4, 5, and 6, this all comes from day 6 information on point slope form. So number 4 says transform from point slope form to slope intercept form and then to standard form. Alright, so first I'm going to have to distribute this 5 to get y by itself for SIF. Okay? So I'm going to say y minus 2 equals 5x. 5 times 3 is positive 15. Okay, y is not by itself yet, so let's add that 2 to 15 because they're like terms. And we have y equals 5x. Add those and we get 17. Now, to go from SIF to SF, standard form, you have to have two variables, x and y, on the same side. So I would subtract the 5x, pretending that this is canceled out here, no longer there. So we have negative 5x plus y equals 17. So negative 5x plus y equals, remember that's canceled, 17. In number 5, write the equation of a line that passes through the point and has a slope of negative 3. So our point, x1, y1, our slope is the letter m. We don't have a ton of space here, so I'm just going to write the formula up here. So we have y minus y1. y1 is negative 6. equals m. M is negative 3. Parentheses x minus x1, which is a negative 5. Okay, now, before I move on to SIF, I have to change these double negatives, otherwise it's going to throw off my entire math for the rest of the problem. So, double negative, make both positive. Okay, double negative, both positive. So now I can distribute my negative 3. So y plus 6, negative 3x, negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. So I put a minus 15 here. I subtract 6. So y equals negative 3x. Here, they're both negative. So when you're adding and subtracting negatives and positives, if they're both the same sign, both negative, you add and you keep the sign. So if I add that, I get 21. And that's a negative 21. Alright, last problem. It says that we have the table, or the table shows the cost of a large pizza with additional toppings on it. What is the equation in point-slope form that represents the relationship between the number of toppings and the cost of the pizza? So we need our point, we need a slope. Okay, so our point is that first row, x1, y1. Okay, that's our first row. It's an ordered pair. Okay, secondly, to find the slope, we find two consecutive numbers over here. So 1 and 2 are my two consecutive numbers. So that means that in the cost, because 1 and 2 are consecutive, I would subtract these two here. So I would say 7.75 minus 7.25. That gives me 50 cents, or 0.50, and that's my slope. So, y minus y1 is 7.25. Slope is 0.50. Okay, x minus x1 is 1. So this is my equation in point-slope form that represents this table of values over here about pizza and the toppings on pizza.